All right, Mount Rudmore here, and I am back with another BB24 chat. Um, it is Saturday, well, Sunday now. It's officially after midnight here, but it's still Saturday in the Big Brother house on the East Coast. Um, so, in the 2.5 days since I've last done a stream, as usual, a lot has happened in that short amount of time, although this time it was sort of the expected amount of stuff happening. We had the eviction episode, then we had the HOH, and then we had the veto. So, we're just gonna take it back to Thursday. Some stuff went down on the feeds that I wrote in my phone, in my notes. Stuff that I think is worth talking about. Um, so, everyone's still trying to decide how they're voting. I mean, a lot of them already know, but we got Alyssa telling Joseph about how Nicole is claiming to have played an honest game, but Nicole has lied to her like 5 times and says it's not best for her game to keep Nicole. And it's like, thank you, Alyssa. Thank you for your for having a reason other than just being a follower. But then, she gets back to her follower um, beliefs by saying to Jasmine, "We'll be on the wrong side if we vote to keep Nicole." And of course, you would say that. You know, we had to get back on track. Um, Jasmine agrees with this. It says that Smelvis is going to go for the HOH very hard. He's like all in for it. He's going to be desperate for it. And if he wins HOH, it's going to make him pretty unpredictable. And I'm like, that's not wrong, but, you know, if Nicole stays, and that's two people going for HOH that are going to be unpredictable. Uh, Scholar Rain 88, good morning. Thank you for being here. We had we're still on Thursday. We haven't gone to the eviction episode yet. And Indy is still like trying to hold out. Like she's she tells Alyssa, Joseph, Jasmine, and Michael that he will leave if Taylor doesn't. And she's like, "Do you want that on your hands?" And it's like, yeah, okay, sure, why not? That's one less person in the way of $750,000. I mean, she's literally saying she's just gonna quit if Taylor goes. Like, I didn't think she was serious, but just saying it is like, imagine throwing away your shot at $750,000 because you don't like somebody. Just Indy, just all throughout that HOH was unbearable. So Taylor is talking to Kyle and Monty, and she says that while Jasmine was telling her that I'm going to vote to keep you, telling that to Taylor, Nicole just comes in and asks, "Why am I going home?" So the spiral continued, and Nicole said something about playing with integrity, and like Kyle hears this and he's like, "Please." Taylor's like, "All I've done is plead my case," and Kyle's like, "Don't worry, you're good." And we got Smelvis ranting again. He's going off to Joseph this time. Like, everyone's lying to me. We're all just handing the money to either Monty or Michael. And then right at that moment, Michael walks in, and Smelvis is like, "Oh, hey, look, it's the winner." Like, dude, shut up. You're making yourself even more of a target. Like, I don't know what he's. I don't know why he thinks any of this is going to work for him. I mean, I don't know if he thinks anything. I think he's just in a blind rage still, just still in a tailspin. Dude, you are 35 years old. You're the third oldest person this season. Grow up. Seriously. And, there were a lot of talks. Like, there was a possibility that this could have been a close vote or even a split 5-5 vote. But Nicole raged at everybody and put them all off of wanting to even entertain the thought of keeping her. And Indy finally says to Jasmine, they have to go with the house. And I just think back to Frenchie last year. That guy ruined his own game in a million different ways. And he still didn't do it as ferociously as Nicole. Like, Nicole has. I didn't think I could see anyone sabotage their own game more than Frenchie did last year, but Nicole somehow managed to top him. So we get Snell talking to Joseph, and he's like, "You're getting Terrence to switch too, right? Delusion's still going for him." And Kyle wants to talk to him, but he's like, "Only if you're honest with me, Kyle." Like, dude, it's Big Brother. Everyone's lying to each other all the time. Kyle says he's going with the house to vote out Nicole. Smelvis says, "You're not going to make final two. Everyone here is a sheep. Just a sheep to Monty and Joseph." And he's just going on and on. Like, that was just as far as I could bring myself to type. Like, after a while, I'm just like, I'm just going to write, he's in a tailspin now. So, yeah, that's just what I wrote. And Smellis is telling Nicole later, "Oh, I totally called out Kyle and Joseph." But he does concede that it'll probably be a landslide for her to go. It'll only be him and maybe Terrence. And he's like, "I'll see you for a drink next week." And she's like, "I didn't want to start the BS." And he's like, "You didn't." And it's like, you both did. You both absolutely did. I mean, I guess if you want to get technical, Paloma did, but you drank her Kool-Aid. And Smelva says, "I don't want to live with bozos like this." They really think they're the best players in that house with everything they've done. And we got Taylor here saying to Brittany and Joseph that now she has no choice but to be a savage in her speech now. And, she talked about it before. Like, Rihanna is a Big Brother fan, and Taylor was talking about quoting Rihanna's song "Take a Bow." You look so dumb right now, and a lot of people were like, "Please, Taylor, do it." And now, apparently, she's decided to. And Joseph points out to Michael, people are walking in pairs now because they're afraid of Smelvis. Like, that's what these people have, just such an insane amount of toxic energy, and those two together. And I saw someone on Twitter point out that the worst people in the house always gravitate to each other. Like, they had a picture of Smelvis and Nicole, and then a picture of Christmas in Memphis, and then the Jacks, and then Aaron and the other racist lady from that season that went further than she did. I don't remember. Like, Gina Marie, I think. I, I didn't watch that season. That was before I got into the show, and I have no intentions of going back to rewatch it. Oh, yeah. This was the talk of the town. Nicole talks to Michael and gives him info that Monty, Jasmine's husband, and Taylor all have some kind of fraternity sorority connection with each other. And I'm like, that is the most insane reach I've ever heard. And like, I read that and I'm just thinking, this is nonsense. That's clearly not what's happening here. But then other people pointed out that, like, obviously Monty and Taylor are black. Jasmine's husband is black. And a lot of people were pointing out that, like, the fraternity sorority connection are, like, historically black fraternities and sororities. And a lot of people were saying that uh, that was not okay for her to say for that reason also. And like I don't want to speak on that because I know nothing about fraternities and sororities. I went to a college that is no longer accredited and it was in a former office building that's now like a medical supply warehouse. So like I don't know anything about that. All I know is that's just such a desperate reach and she's acting like this is legitimate information. And it's just it was complete nonsense, no matter how you look at it. So we finally get to the episode, and we get to see a lot of the tail spinning, and it was pretty interesting. And you know, Taylor gets to give her speech. They made sure to let Nicole go first because they they wanted Taylor to have the last word on this one. And Taylor, she says it to quote the BB superfan, and she turns to Nicole. You look so dumb right now. She's like, you thought you were setting yourself up for safety by sitting next to me, and yet here you are because your closest ally in the house used the veto and got you put up here. Like I'm paraphrasing. Taylor said it a lot more elegantly than I just did, and like whether Taylor is the next one evicted or wins the season is irrelevant. Taylor is a BB legend now. She just is. That is that is some seriously iconic behavior, and I'm so proud of her for that. Like, I don't even like that song, Take a Bow. I don't even like it that much. And just hearing her say it in that moment, it was perfection. So, I mean, we got some of the delusion, but a lot of the episode was showmance between Kyle and Alyssa. And it's like, there's so much that happened this week that's way more interesting than than these two. It's like, come on. This is not what any of us want. And smell this? He was a total punk about the whole thing. The votes go as expected. It's 9-1. Even Indy and Terrence, they did decide to stick with the majority. Of course, Smelvis was the only vote for her to stay. So she leaves, and then Smelvis turns to the rest of the house and he's like, remember, you can't split the check. Play for yourselves. And it's like, yeah, go ahead. Stay mad. Stay mad because you have no one to be mad at but yourself. And you should be mad at yourself because everyone else has been mad at you since week one. He's just such a loser. He just has loser behavior and loser energy. And of course, the episode ends with him in one of the bedrooms all by himself. He's just like walking in circles, like, oh, end the season. Just pack my bags. Like the guy is just so defeated. The man is on an island of his own making, a trash island, honestly. And just seeing him alone and isolated and defeated, knowing that this is where Taylor was not too long ago, it was pretty great. It was pretty great. So, days go down. We haven't gotten a live HOH competition since the premiere, so I hope they get back to it soon. I mean, like they've started them, but like we haven't done a full live HOH competition since the premiere, and starting to miss them. I always enjoy them. So, hopefully sometime soon we can have another live HOH competition. So, if these go down for a while, we gotta wait until they come back, and when they do come back, we'll know who the winner is. And it's Michael. The man has won again. And apparently it was apparently it was, from what I've heard, it was the competition or similar to the competition that Sarah Beth won last year for HOH, and she beat Derek X by like milliseconds, and then she took him out, and that week was just heartbreaking to watch. But yeah, this time it was the other way around. The person we did not want to win narrowly lost. Okay, to be fair, I didn't necessarily not want Sarah Beth to win that HOH, but by the next morning I was like, oh boy, she really should not have won this. How has Michael not made himself a huge target at this point? He's won almost everything so far. Haha. Yeah, well, that was a factor in Derek X last year. He won the first two vetoes. He won the Week 5 HOH, and with his HOH, he took out a big target. But then 2 weeks later, he was gone because at that point, he was the biggest target left in the house. That was not in the cookout, which was running the show. So, Michael and Brittany are celebrating, obviously, because they were worried. They were the most vulnerable pair. They were the only pair that didn't have a shield, but now with Michael HOH, they're in jury. Like that is all squared away. The leftovers control the vote this week. And they're ostensibly not going to lose anybody unless stuff really shifts. And we will talk about the the possible shifting that's being talked about. But yes, he celebrates with Michael and Brittany. Taylor comes in and they celebrate together. And Michael just straight up refuses to put Taylor on the block again for a fourth time in 5 weeks. And there's no reason for him to do so. Like, Indy and Alyssa are not huge threats, and Taylor did decide to join them, which was expected. But I don't see them as huge threats, although like Alyssa may be a social threat, possibly a little bit, but she's not much of a physical threat, and I think we can afford to kick her down the field just a little bit. That sounded wrong. Don't kick anybody. I didn't think that expression through before I said it. My bad. I don't like Alyssa, but I don't want her to get kicked. Kicked off the show, yeah, but don't actually kick her. Anyway, Michael's talking about his plans, and he does say the obvious thing that everyone wants. He wants to um, he wants to go for Smelvis, but he wants to backdoor him. So The conversation now is who's he going to put up initially. And I was saying already, like, I don't think it's wise to just put him on the block straight up. I think it's best to backdoor him because he does have 2 wins. You know, Michael's up to 4 wins at this point. Smelvis has two. First HOH, and he won veto last week. And Kyle has been noticeably weary about going on the block. So it's like if they're in the veto, obviously Smelvis is going to go for it, and Kyle might go for it just to, secure his fate. But yeah, Michael's like, do I start with Monty, Joseph, and Terrence, or do I start with Turner and Jasmine? Because again, Taylor, Alyssa, Indy, he's just not going to do. So Michael talks to Kyle, and this is where Kyle was starting to lose people. Kyle says that Smelvis is alone. And Kyle is also worried that he could get taken out. Now, what I wrote here on my phone is that won't happen. But when I wrote that, um, he had not really spiraled too much yet. And, I still don't think it will happen, but I'll address this later on. But he's just saying, like, is taking Daniel out the smart move right now? And I'm just like, yes, it is. He is a physical threat. He's an emotional threat. Like he is just a constant negative energy in that house. And it's you know, like I feel like everyone will just feel better when he's gone. So we get a cam talk from Indy, and I'm just like, what do you want, Indy? Still not too happy with you after last week, last few weeks really. But she says that Smelvis was screaming at Monty, saying he didn't want to take Indy and Alyssa off the block. And she goes on to point out that the whole house is against him now. And, not that I love when there's a house target, but I do enjoy when it's someone I don't like. And, you know, it's like Michael's hands are probably somewhat tied. It's like if he doesn't go for Smelvis, then people are going to look at him funny, like, do you have something going on with him? And Indy also points out that she's happy that Taylor's not the target because it means she won't be nominated. Because, of course, her only reason for wanting Taylor safe is for purely selfish reasons. It's like not even surprising to me in the slightest. Now, I woke up on Saturday seeing KK Kyle trending on Twitter, and then I found out why. He is now very, very worried about there being a Cookout 2.0. Except now he thinks it's all the black people plus Joseph, who is Middle Eastern, and Indy, who is Brazilian. So what he's worried about more than anything is that all the people of color in the house are working together and they're a threat. First of all, as someone on Twitter was kind enough to point out, um, for the first four evictions, only one nominee has been white, Pooch, and it's because he offered himself up. Okay. Week 1, Taylor and Terrence. Week 2, Pooch and Taylor. And again, Pooch was there because he volunteered. Week 3, Amira and Terrence, although that time was because Amira was actually viewed as a legitimate threat. And then this past week, it was Taylor and Nicole, who's, I believe, Puerto Rican. I believe that's what I heard. But now Kyle is worried that all the ones that are left are working together. He's worried about a Cookup 2.0, but he's not worried about a Level 6 2.0. He's not worried about a Committee 2.0, uh, Grateful 2.0, a Brigade 2.0, all these majority alliances that dominated the show in years past that didn't have black people in them. The only one he's worried about is the Cookout. Okay. Well, I mean, of course he would be because, like, all those alliances I mentioned, they'd be good with him. He'd probably be in them. And it's just like, Kyle, you are. I mean, I was about to say you're not representing Utah well, but actually, you probably are. Like, you're at least representing it accurately from what I've heard. It's like, come on, dude, we were rooting for you. You had a good thing going. So, Michael's running through all the scenarios in his head. Well, not in his head. Like, he's talking to the camera. And a lot of people were immediately ready to turn on him for this. And I'm just like, people, he's talking. And he's talking game. His own game. Let's not panic until he actually makes the move. But what he's saying is that, he's not against Smelvis leaving, but Michael does admit that he's close with Kyle. And again, he says he's not putting Taylor up. He's not worried about Indy or Alyssa. And he notes that Monty offered to be a pawn. And Michael admits him leaving wouldn't be the worst thing. And I mean, it's not what I want to happen. But Michael's in the house trying to plan his long-term game. And you know, Monty has an HOH win. He he won one of the first 3 competitions on premiere night and got to compete for the first HOH. Like the first competition of the season, he won. The thing where they're all sitting on the porta potties getting slimed. So it's like, Kyle, I think, is targeting like all the people of color in the house for very questionable reasons. Michael admitting Monty going might be like not too bad of a thing to happen. Like I view that as game strategy. Like in the same way that I view uh, the leftovers plan to take out Amira as game strategy. He'd take out a threat before jury, but we'd be stuck with Smelvis, lol. Yeah. I I genuinely don't want that man in jury. I just don't. Because I don't want Indy in jury either. So it's like, really can't have both of them. Michael talks to Smelvis. Smelvis is like, I know I'm alone, but that could make me beneficial. And again, just like, you're alone because of yourself. Taylor was alone because everyone decided to exclude her. Michael talks to Alyssa and Indy. They both say that Smelvis should be the target, but he should probably be backdoored. Michael asks how they would feel about being a pawn. And of course, neither one is thrilled. But then he's like, nah, don't worry. You're not going up because I don't want to do that to Taylor again. Oh, this was an interesting development. Um, Kyle apologizes to Indy because apparently they woke her up while they were in bed. Some people said they were just making out. Some people have said that they were doing it. Personally, I think they were making out because Kyle is a Mormon from Utah, and apparently he's never had sex before. And I don't think the first time he's going to do it is with cameras watching. But that's just me. But yeah, Indy was not happy about being woken up. And, for the first time in a while, I was actually kind of on her side in a dispute. Like, this time she actually has a reason to be mad at somebody. I'd be mad at that. Don't wake me up because you two are still stuck mentally in high school. Taylor talks to Michael. She asks if the final three they have Taylor, Michael, Brittany. She asks if that's still on, and Michael's like, oh, 100%. And Taylor just says that she's trying to, back off a little. She's trying to keep her distance just so they don't look like a trio. But she doesn't want him to think that he's actually being distant to her. And then they start talking some game, and Michael says that in the event that Smelvis and Kyle do win the veto, and they use it to pull down Monty, Joseph, and Terrence, in that case, it would be Turner and Jasmine going up, and ostensibly Jasmine leaving, which I also would not hate. Although, honestly, Jasmine is the third person I really don't want in jury. But it's like, I've accepted she's going to be there. They're probably going to carry her around for a while just because of how useless she is. She's the Derek F of this season. So, Michael's talking to Turner. Michael says, everyone's turned on Daniel. And Turner says his catchphrase, that's fire. And Michael's like, well, that makes it easy. And says that the trio of Monty, Joseph, and Terrence will probably be nominated. And they do. They are nominated. So it's like, I expected this and I thought it was the right move. So, yeah. And, just as like more talks go along, it's like a lot of people are thinking that like Kyle's really starting to plant the seeds to like get Michael to change his mind and try to get Monty out. And like, if the noms stay the same, I think there's a possibility that could gain traction, but it's not a guarantee. You know, it's a lot of game to be played, and like I was trying to be excited about Michael winning HOH because I have been a fan of him from the beginning, and I was very happy that he won. And like, he hasn't really done too much wrong yet. But it's just like everyone's paranoid that he's going to drop the ball. And I'm just like, he's still got a firm grip on the ball. It has not been dropped yet. So let's just all take a breath. Michael is a super fan of this game. He is going to decide the right move for him. So we got Terrence talking to Smelvis, and Terrence says that the best case scenario would be Smelvis winning the veto and leaving noms the same. Terrence wants Smelvis to win and not use the veto on him. And he says he's willing to sabotage his own team in the veto competition. Like, he ostensibly wants Monty or Joseph gone. I'm like, I thought this was a pretty good trio. I thought they were a pretty tight knit group, and now all of a sudden Terrence is talking about turning on him. And also just like you're willing to sit on the block on eviction night because that works so well for Pooch and Nicole. And even Amira, she didn't ask to go on the block, but once she was there, she was like, "Yeah, I got this. I'll be fine." So, willingly staying on the block after the way this season has gone, that is a choice, Terrence. Yeah, exactly, Scarlett. What the heck, Terrence? The man is just messy. I don't even think he knows what his end game is. It's like he's got like it's like he's got a bug in his ear. Someone's talking to him from the outside, just telling him the messiest, most chaotic thing to do. And like they have some serious dirt on Terrence, so he has to do it, or they're gonna expose him for whatever dirt they have on him. Okay, so we get a Brittany Michael Taylor talk, and I'm just like, I love seeing these three talk together because I think this is a legitimate final three, and when they talk to each other, I feel like it's legitimate. Like I believe what they say to each other. Brittany says that Joseph is smarter than people give him credit for, which is true. Like Nicole was walking around saying Joseph doesn't do anything, and it's like he's part of why you're in this position now. And Brittany also says that Monty has a lot of people wanting to align with him. And to that, Taylor's like, you know, we don't really want him to just ride that to the end super easily. And Taylor's like, I'm not necessarily targeting him, but he needs to feel some vulnerability. So, you know, I mean, he's technically vulnerable right now. He is nominated, but, he's in a mostly secure position. Um, Before I tell this next one, I would like to point out that it was quickly walked back, but Taylor does briefly suggest the possibility of Smelvis being in jury actually being good for them. And Brittany does not agree. Brittany says it's too risky, and even Taylor is like, yeah, way too risky. And Brittany adds that they keep approaching him logically and think he's going to act logically when he is not logical. He's purely emotional. And he wouldn't vote for Taylor. How is Smelvis being in jury a good thing? Well, like I said, they walked this one back, and I think Taylor was just kind of sounding it out, just see how it sounds, and now she's like, you know what, that doesn't sound very good. So yeah, I I think I think Brittany was able to reel her back in. Good. His stupid A needs to go. LOL. Yeah. So Turner and Jasmine, their feud. is just continuing to escalate. Like, first Turner cut her muffin in half, and then she left the remaining half out, and he cut it in half again. And this time, he took her cookies and poured water and put a lime in to like ruin the cookies. Like he is like, oh my god, he's such a troll to Jasmine, and I love it. But apparently Monty ratted him out. Jasmine knows now that it's him because of Monty. Thanks a lot, dude. This was a lot of fun to watch, and you ruined it. Like Terrence isn't even good messing. He just ruins everything. You know, I often see people on BB Twitter say, "I love mess." I don't love Terrence's mess. Monty, why are you snitching? Did I say Monty because I meant Terrence? Did I say Monty? If I did, I'm sorry. But yeah, it was Terrence that ratted Turner out. Ah, gotcha. Okay. And like Turner and Jasmine, they're both just at the point where they're both willing to go on the block to get the other one out. Which, of course, it would be Jasmine in that case. But it's so funny how much these two hate each other. It makes me happy. It really does. The only way Jasmine is entertaining is if someone is ruining her day. So, Saturday comes along, time to pick players for the veto competition, and, you know, it's like, it can not be Smelvis and Kyle. They cannot get picked. But of course, they're picking out a team, and, you know, there's five teams in the house. Michael and Brittany are playing because Michael's HOH, and Monty, Joseph, and Terrence are playing because they're nominated. So now we got to pull out one of the other groups. And there's three chips in there. There was a 1 in 3 chance of Smelvis and Kyle being picked. But mercifully, it was Turner and Jasmine. Smelvis did not get picked. And and Smelvis is just like, oh, I'm just gonna start packing my bags now. And once again, he's just given up and being a moody teenager. It's like, you know, he's 35. That means he was a teenager when emo hit the scene back in the mid 2000s. And I'm like, hey, I enjoyed some of that music myself, but I grew out of the face. Okay, you haven't yet. And he goes on to say, I don't even know why I'm a target. It's like, because no one likes you. No one trusts you. You yell at everybody. You bully people. You are a target for people's own mental health and sanity. At least Taylor. He doesn't know why he's a target? Nah, he can't seem to figure it out. Remember, he and Nicole were talking about how they were the smartest players ever. Everyone else is an idiot. They're perfect. They're not doing anything wrong. He hasn't seen anything wrong with anything he's done. So now we get Kyle. He is in the HOH room. Dear God, this man is delusional. Yes, Smelvis is very delusional. Kyle is alone in the HOH room. First of all, why are you in there alone when you're not HOH? I don't know. That always kind of rubs me the wrong way. But he's just like he is spiraling at the mere prospect of being nominated. And it's like, dude, relax. Kyle does not see how good of a position he is in. He sits on the block next to Smelvis and he's just chill the whole time. Smelvis could very well leave unanimously. No one in that house likes him. But if Kyle decides to just keep acting up and decides to act up more publicly, then, I still think Smelvis would leave over him, but I don't think it'd be unanimous anymore. He, it's like, dude, you just gotta contain yourself. Monty and Joseph were totally on board with being nominated as pawns. Kyle is not able to take one for the team. And it's like his immaturity is really starting to come out. And again, he's almost 30. Like Turner's the youngest one in that house, and he's one of the most mature. He's at least the most mature of the men. Well, maybe Michael. Like him and Michael are the most mature men. Oh, actually, Joseph also. My point is, Turner is a lot younger than Kyle, and Turner's a lot more mature. So Kyle's talking to Michael and Brittany, and he pitches, um, if not targeting Monty outright, one of his numbers, which would be Indy, Jasmine, or Terrence, like targeting one of them. Kyle is really viewing Monty as a big threat and wanting to latch on to Michael, and by extension, Brittany. And it's like this is what he wants to do. He wants it to be him and Alyssa as a strong duo, Michael and Brittany as a strong duo, and it's like, you know, it's like it's hard not to see the reason why he's picking them specifically, three white people, one of whom isn't even in the leftovers, when he had already expressed fear of Cookout 2.0. And he goes on to say that Monty and Amira had a final two together. First of all, I'm not even sure if that's true. Like, I don't remember. But if it was true, Monty helped lead the charge to get her out. So, like, that didn't stick. So why does it even matter? But he says that Monty could keep that same reasoning to have a final two with another person of color in the house. And I'm just watching this and I'm like, Kyle, you are making me so uncomfortable right now. It's like, stop, please. But Michael does point out that he does not trust Smelvis. So it doesn't seem like Michael is too swayed by Kyle at this point, but you know, we shall see. I'm just like I'm still I'm still holding out hope that Michael isn't gonna drop the ball on this one. So the veto started really late today. Like typically I've been getting, well, I say typically, this is only week 5, but a couple times this season, like I have gotten to see the results of the veto, like either while I'm eating dinner or right after I finished eating dinner. But apparently it didn't even start until I was eating dinner tonight. So yeah, it was a long competition. And apparently it was OTEV, which is iconic. Just so you know, Scarlet, that's veto backwards. OTEV. It's like a they have to search for certain things, and the last one to find it in each round is eliminated until there's only one left. And wouldn't you know it, Michael and Brittany won. But more than that, Michael won for the team because Michael was the last one standing. And dude, Michael, Michael, you, you are making yourself a huge target. You have four vetoes and an HOH, and it's not even jury yet. Dude, they won veto as well. Yeah. I mean, Brittany has a veto now because of it, but Michael appears to have won it. And I'm just like, Michael, how? And, I'm just starting to think like maybe Terrence threw it because he said that he might. And I'm thinking Jasmine probably couldn't even compete because of her ankle. He's going to get himself targeted. I'm so nervous for him right now. That is the concern for sure. And at this point, Michael not using the veto would make him an even bigger target than he's already making himself with his 5 wins before jury. So if he doesn't if he tries to make a move that doesn't sit right with everybody, then they're gonna look at that plus all his comp wins and think, do we need to get this guy out sooner rather than later? But he has a veto and Brittany has a veto. So even if he decides not to use it, Brittany still can, I assume. Because that's how it works. It only takes one member of the Festy Bestie duo to use the veto. And apparently Brittany hurt her knee in the competition, and she may even need stitches. I saw her sitting with it wrapped up, and you can see part of the cut sticking out of it. I'm like, it looked pretty ugly. Apparently, a lot of them got some bumps and bruises and minor cuts, but Brittany seemed to get it the worst, and right on the knee too. Oh man, let me tell you something. My setup right now, I've got my laptop sitting on a chair. When I was moving the chair down here, I banged my knee on it, and it hurt. Brittany cut her knee open and may need stitches. So, yes. Anyway, like I was saying, I was like, Michael, why didn't you just throw this competition? But here's where it gets a little funky. Terrence apparently came in second, and I'm amazed he came that close. And, admittedly, OTEV, there's a little bit of luck involved. You could just happen to get lucky a couple times, or someone else could get unlucky. So, you know, OTEV definitely has equalizer potential. So that would have been something if it turned out Terrence won. But Michael tells Monty and Joseph that Terrence threw it. It came down to them, and Terrence said something to him, and then from there, Terrence just didn't really try, and Michael just kind of stumbled into the win. So he tells this to Monty and Joseph, and they come to the conclusion that it means Terrence is targeting them, which he kind of is. And I'm just sitting here thinking, Terrence, this week was going to be so easy, but now you are like you're trying to sit on the block and try to get one of these guys out, one of these guys that's like been like they've been hanging out with him. They've been like talking game and just talking. I don't get why he's doing this. Like I'm surprised Terrence hasn't gone to them and been like, "Hey, let's make a final three." I mean, I wouldn't count on them honoring it, but I'm I don't get why Terrence thinks the move is trying to target the guys he's aligned with, who are much more capable of winning competitions. Like, I don't get why he thinks now is the time to target them instead of ensuring that they get him to jury. And it's just like, I don't know what Terrence's plan is at any time. And I don't think he does either. I think I've said that already, but I don't think Terrence knows what he's doing. Apparently, Michael did reassure Monty and Joseph he's going to backdoor Smelvis. And I say apparently because, I have like my trusted BB update sources. That one I saw, and it's like, I have no reason to believe it or not believe it, but it's like, I don't know. I'm just like, I saw it, and I'm just going to try and have a little faith. It doesn't seem like he has one. Doesn't seem like Terrence has any game. Yeah, like any game plan, I mean. And the last thing I wrote in my phone before I started the stream was smell this pitching to Michael. Like, dude, if you spare me, I'm not going to go after you. I'm not going to go after Brittany. I'm going to go after bigger targets. And, Michael's like not really saying too much. So I don't really feel like I don't feel like he's really entertaining it from this conversation. He might just be like, nodding along, being like, oh yeah, uh huh, okay. Oh, you make a good point. Like, that kind of thing. But, you know, not overly worried. Now, time to check updates that have happened since I've been streaming. And, you know, some people out there are trying to make a mess. So let's see how messy it's gotten. All right, nothing on my main timeline. Most of the people I follow, like for BB updates, they've been kind of quiet today. That's interesting. Well, we got a few updates. Come on, load. Thank you. Jasmine talking to Michael. She says, one of my goals coming in was I have to get out a guy threat. I've done that, so I'm happy. If I was in your shoes, that's what I would do. Daniel has nobody. He will continue to be a target. You can be like, if I save you and you get HOH. Jasmine, what are you doing? Oh, come on. Why are we all suddenly okay with keeping Smelvis in that house? Jasmine says, oh, it's to Brittany and Michael. The shot is there, and Monty is a big player. I would take that shot. I don't know when you will get another shot. He has already won HOH, so he is capable. Jasmine says his number one is Joseph. He is on the block. That takes away a vote. Michael asks who are the four that for sure would do it. Jasmine says, I will. I think Alyssa will. Michael says, I'm sure Daniel would. Jasmine says, I feel like Indy would too. I, uh, hmm, I'm getting uncomfortable again. I mean, like, this should prove to Michael that all Kyle's talks of there being a Cookout 2.0 are unfounded because here's Jasmine saying, go ahead, take Monty out right now. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, so Jasmine's like, I'll chat with you before the decision is made. Whatever you want to do, I'm down for. Michael's like, I'm glad it's not tomorrow because there's a lot to think about. Michael says, I think there are 8 votes if a group of 3 is up, so it would take 4 for sure. Brittany says, I would be one if you decided this is what you want to do. Jasmine says, that's 5. Me, Alyssa, Indy, Daniel, Brittany. I think Taylor would too. Now, this is Michael. We knew it. We effing knew it. Brittany. All 4 of them. Michael. Yep. How else would she, Jasmine, know that all of them would be on board to send him home? She wouldn't. So yeah, they're not listening to her. Now they know that that they're all working together. Okay, so this is some good information. This is a good realization for Michael to have. Michael to Brittany. Those 5, if they want to pull us over, we are 6 and 7. If someone from the leftovers win, who are the first 2 people they are going to throw onto the bus? They're going to be like, Michael took out Monty. F that. Last one's in, first out. All right. Yeah. See, this is why I didn't lose faith. I didn't lose faith in Michael. Brittany to Michael. The pro of this is if we are going all in on getting Daniel out, we know for sure that takes them down a number and it builds a lot of trust with Monty. All right. Listen, people were freaking out about Michael. And look, again, we still got some time, and I am not underestimating Terrence's ability to be a clown. But I think Michael and Brittany are figuring this out. Brittany says to Michael, we can tell Monty and Joseph, you know that little fake alliance they were floating by you? They don't have you. Guess who they need to stick with? Us. And Brittany says, I think this is great that Monty and Joseph realize that they need the leftovers and they don't have anyone else. Oh, this is what I love to hear. Like, I mean, I don't think they were really in any serious danger of that happening. Monty and Joseph are pretty loyal to the leftovers, so I don't think they would have taken a shot at them anytime soon. But it's good that we're all kind of evening out. Michael says Daniel came up here, gave his speech, blah blah blah. I already went over that, and I didn't really listen to it. Oh, Jasmine. I talked to Michael. He is thinking about keeping noms the same. Alyssa. Perfect. Jasmine. But he wants the house to back it. He wants Monty out. Alyssa. Perfect. Jasmine says, I had to do a lot of work up there. Your girl was working. Oh, oh, she thinks she did something. And she did. But what she did was get Michael and Brittany to sniff her out. Oh boy. Oh god. And this picture of Alyssa just looking so excited. Like, BB updates, you know what you're doing. You know that this picture is meant to add to the ridiculousness. But this is Alyssa thinking that all is going well right now for them. Ah, God, that room is too bright. But yeah, you can see her face right there. How excited she looks. I gotta stop doing this. I keep making myself orange. Come on, unorange me. Will my blue cup fix it at all? Like in the past, moving my cup in has made me orange. Maybe if I try turning the camera off and on. Nope, I am more orange now. Jasmine says we have to at least have 5 votes or four, and he can break a tie. You need to tell him that you have his back if he keeps noms the same, and you will vote Monty out. Melissa says I am going to suggest it. Sure, cement it further. So apparently, we're going to be getting a blindside during the veto meeting. So many blindsides this season. Hey, I'm not orange anymore. Yay. And Jazz says to Indy, I just had a really good chat with Michael. I told him if I were him, I would keep noms the same and get Monty out. He said, do you think the house would back me? He wants people to go tell him that. He was really scared you wouldn't vote him out. Ah, they're so bad at this. Jasmine, Alyssa, and Indy, the Three Stooges, I'm telling you. Oh, here we go with Terrence, the fourth stooge. He's Shemp. Terrence says to Brittany and Michael, when will we ever have a clear shot like this? I was like, Michael has to win. That's why I climbed up there and I was like, you win, not me. Dude, what are you doing? Mm. Terrence says it would be iconic. Michael, when you say there is a bigger move, would one be referring to someone who was HOH last week? Terrence is like, yeah, that's too much of a threat to keep in the house. Oh boy. And Terrence says, I don't know when we will have this type of access to do this again. Not only access and the numbers. We have got the numbers. Everybody is, well, not everybody, but a lot of people are just really, really bad at this game. I can't wait for the drama when Monty finds out Terrence was trying to get him out, lol. I mean, we'll see. Terrence is saying all the people that were doing it's like a lot of the same names that Jasmine gave. Terrence is like, I am with you 1,000%, even though I can't vote. Michael's like, you feel comfortable enough? Terrence says, I am confident we have the votes. If I didn't feel people would rally behind it, I would be like, pull us, but I'm not even saying that. That's how confident I feel. Ay, ay, ay. It's like, Terrence is really confident in staying on the block. I mean, I don't think it'll happen this week, but I don't understand how Pooch and Amira can get blindsided and still think that sitting on the block is a good idea. It's just it defies logic. I mean, oh, so many idiots in that house. Michael's like, I haven't talked to Jazz yet. And Brittany's like, I'm not sure where Terrence is. And Michael's like, do they think we're stupid? Taking Monty out is a big, flashy move. I came here to make smart moves, not flashy ones. Oh, yes. Oh, God. Like, just, I didn't, I didn't, oh, I'm not going to say I didn't give up on Michael. I'm saying I haven't given up yet. And I'm feeling very good now. Michael says, I am curious to see what Kyle says. Like, if Kyle is on board for this. Brittany says, both Jasmine and Terrence said Alyssa is in on this, so she is with them. Michael says, we definitely all need to meet tonight. I am being pitched ideas that confirm our suspicions of them all being together. They want Nom to say the same and Monty to go this week. Oh, he's talking to Turner now. And Turner's just like, wow. And Michael points out Jasmine and Terrence were both just up there. Oh, it's getting good. Turner says, that's crazy to me. I would think Terrence would never go against Monty. Michael's like, that's what I thought, but he was up there telling me, you have to win this. Brandy's like, he is that certain that they have the votes. Him and Jasmine gave the same story. Michael tells Brittany and Turner, I'm acting like I'm entertaining it. I want them to come up here and tell on themselves, basically. When all five of them come up and say the exact same thing. Oh, God. Michael, he's been calculating. Since he won HOH, he's just been calculating. And now he's seems like he's figured it out. Bernie says this is just more confirmation that we have got the numbers right now. Michael says they are scrambling, they are desperate, and they are showing all their cards. And Bernie says we have a chance to get their strongest player out this week. Michael says he's so surprised by Terrence knocking Monty out of the comp to throw it to get him out. Turner's like, I would have thought he would have wanted to win a first comp. Yeah, that's a fair point. I love this. This is great. It's like I admit you can't not have doubt in Big Brother, but it's just like everyone on the other side of the house is playing really badly. Amira was the smartest member of the other side of the house, but she wasn't smart enough to keep that too well hidden. So yeah. Oh, oh boy, this has been good. I think I'm not again not assuming anything because the number of people that have assumed all was well and have gone home, it's I mean it's 3 out of 4, 3 for 4 so far. Also, like you could argue that Paloma thought that all was going well, and then she had her breakdown. So I am not going to just assume that everything's going to work out fine. But at this moment, I am feeling good that Monty, Joseph, and Terrence are going to come off the block. Smelvis and Kyle are going to go up, and Smelvis is going to go home. With 2 people on the block, there will be 9 votes to evict. And 5 of the leftovers are going to be voting. That's the majority right there. And Alyssa, she's not going to vote out Kyle. So that's 6. Indy, not loving Daniel right now. So I'm thinking 7. Jasmine's a follower. 8. Terrence, also a follower. But, for whatever reason, he decided that he was going to throw in with Smelvis this week. So it could be 8-1, but it could be unanimous. Like it's possible. And yeah, um, at this moment, I'm feeling good. Michael has figured some stuff out, and he's a smart guy. I trust him to do the right thing with this information. All right, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you, Scarlett, for being here. I appreciate it. I will be back probably. I'm thinking maybe Monday night to talk some more Big Brother, because after that, the veto meeting will have happened, and then we will know for sure. Thank you for having me. No problem. So yeah, Monday's probably going to be my next Big Brother stream, possibly Tuesday, but I'm hoping to maybe get back to streaming a game again sometime soon. I'm playing the Uncharted series again. Probably my favorite overall game series ever. I'm on Uncharted 3 right now. I might be able to play that again sometime soon, but if not, I'll still stream and I'll just talk more Big Brother because this season is really giving me a lot. And I think I just hit a new record for longest chat stream. I don't think I've done an hour, 21 minutes yet. But yes, that is going to do it for me. Thank you, Scarlett, for being here. If you're watching this on YouTube later, thank you. And yeah, I will see you next time.